My name is Kitty Genovese. I was 28 years old, and this is how I died.
I was born Catherine Susan Genovese in Brooklyn, New York, in 1935, but everyone knew me as Kitty. I was the eldest of 5 children in an Italian-American family. People who knew me described me as confident, with a sunny disposition and more life in me than I could contain. By 1964, I was living in Kew Gardens, Queens, with the woman I loved, Mary Ann. I worked long hours managing a bar called F's 11th Hour. I was saving money, dreaming of one day opening my own Italian restaurant. I thought my life was just beginning. But it ended on a cold March night. It was 3 a.m. on March 13, 1964. When I parked my red Fiat in the lot near my apartment. The streets were empty, but I didn't know I was being followed. A man named Winston Mosley had watched me on my drive home. He was not a thief searching for something to take, because robbery was never his intention, and he was not a man consumed by anger or hatred towards me personally. He attacked me for reasons far darker. He later admitted that he had left his wife and children asleep that night and gone out to hunt. His goal was simple and terrifying. He wanted to kill a woman. It did not matter who, just any woman. As I stepped out of my car, he came at me with a hunting knife. I ran toward my building, but he caught me, stabbing me twice in the back. The pain stole my breath. I screamed, "Oh my God, he stabbed me. Help me." Windows lit up. A few neighbors looked out. One man shouted at him to leave me alone. And for a moment, Mosley ran and I thought I might survive. Wounded and terrified, I tried to make it to the entrance of my building. But I couldn't get inside. The door was locked. I was alone, bleeding in the shadows. 10 minutes later, he returned. He had moved his car to avoid suspicion and came back to finish what he started. He found me collapsed in the hallway by the rear of the building. There, hidden from the street, he stabbed me again and again. Even as my life faded, he violated me in the cruelest way. With his final act, he took what little I had left. He took away the last of my dignity and a few dollars in my purse, leaving me with nothing but pain and silence. The attack spanned nearly half an hour. I wasn't entirely alone as I passed. My friend and neighbor, Sophia Ferrar, rushed to me after the final assault. She held me in her arms, whispering that help was on the way. But it was too late. My lungs had collapsed from the stab wounds. I died before I reached the hospital. 6 days later, Winston Mosley was arrested during a burglary. In his car, police found a stolen television, and with questioning, the truth unraveled. He confessed not only to killing me but to other murders and assaults. He described everything in chilling detail. He admitted that he preferred killing women because, in his words, they didn't fight back. He had no remorse. He simply hunted. At trial, Mosley was found guilty. A jury sentenced him to death, but his punishment was later reduced to life in prison. He died there in 2016, more than 50 years after taking my life. But the story didn't end with my death. 2 weeks later, the New York Times ran an article that shocked the nation. It claimed that 37 of my neighbors had witnessed the attack and done nothing, that no one had even bothered to call the police. The story painted me as a symbol of public indifference, of a city too cold to care. But the truth was more complicated. Later investigations revealed that the Times exaggerated. Many neighbors didn't realize what they were hearing. Some thought it was a lover's quarrel, others thought I was drunk and needed no help. A few did try to call the police, but in 1964, there was not a 911 system in place. Calls were routed slowly, and my cries were never treated as urgent. The myth of 38 silent witnesses wasn't entirely true. But the fear it created changed America. Psychologists began studying what happened, calling it the bystander effect, the idea that when many people see someone in danger, everyone assumes someone else will step forward. But often, no one does. My murder also led to real reform. The outrage pushed officials to create a simple emergency line, one number anyone could dial for help. Out of my tragedy came the 911 system, which is now a lifeline that has since saved countless lives. I never opened my restaurant. I never built the future I was working toward. But my story became larger than me. It forced people to ask, what would you do if you heard someone crying for help? Don't wait for someone else. Don't close the window. Be the one who steps forward. This was my story, and my name is Kitty Genovese. On this channel, we give voice to the victims who can no longer speak for themselves. If you want to hear more stories told in our own words, please like and subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments.